Long ago, in a land where the sun was golden and the rivers sing softly at night, there lived a great king. His palace was big, his warriors were many, and his people loved him. But there was something strange in his kingdom. Every evening, when the moon rose, a drum would begin to play. No drummer was singing, no hand was touching it. Yet, the drum speak with a human voice. Bam, 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 bam. O king, beware. O king, beware. The villagers were afraid. Some said it was a spirit. Others said it was the voice of an angry ancestor. Children ran into their mother's arms whenever the drum began to speak. The king himself was troubled. How can a drum talk? He asked his chiefs. Who dares to warn me every night? One brave hunter stood and said, My king, drums do not speak unless the spirits are inside them. The gods are sending a message. The king shook his head. I'm the king. No spirit can command me. But deep in his heart, he feared the drum. One night, when the moon was full, the king could not sleep. He went out to the palace yard, and there it was, the great talking drum, shining as if fire lived inside it. The drum speak again loudly this time. Boom, 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 boom. O king, beware. Your greed will destroy you. The king grew angry. Greed. I have given food to my people. I have built roads and markets. How dare you call me greed? The drum laughed. Yes, it laughed. Boom, 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 boom. You take from the poor. You take from the widows. You take from the orphans. And you call yourself kind. The king's face turned pale. He thought of the heavy tax he had placed on the farmers. He thought of the lands he seized from the weak. He thought of the good he kept for himself, while many of his people went hungry. But his pride would not let him bow. I'm the king, no drum will shame me, he shouted. He lifted his prayer. I'm the drum. Boom, the drum broke into two. Suddenly the sky grew dark, thunder roared, the earth shook from the broken drum. Came a mighty spirit, tall as a pine tree, with eyes like fire. O foolish king, the spirit rammed. You silence the drum, but you cannot silence the truth. From today, your kingdom shall suffer until you learn humility. The spirit vanished, but the curse remained. The river dried, the farms failed, hunger spread across the land. The king wept in his palace, but no one came to comfort him. Only when he called the poor, the widows, and the orphans, and returned what he had taken, did the rain fall again. The land became green, and the people forgave him. From that day, the king kept a small drum beside his throne, not a talking drum, but a silent one. Each time he saw it, he remembered. A king who forgets his people will one day hear the drum of the truth. After the curse was lifted and the land became green again, the king called all his people to the palace square. The talking drum had taught him a painful lesson, and he did not want to forget it. My people, he said, standing before the crowd, I was blind. I thought be king meant talking whenever I wanted. But now I know the truth. A king is nothing without his people. From today, I will rule with kindness. The people cheered, but deep in their hearts, they still feared the drum. They wondered, would it ever return? That night, as the moon rose again, the king sat alone in his chamber. He had placed the broken pieces of the talking drum beside his throne as a reminder. Suddenly, the pieces began to shake. The king's heart raced slowly. The drum minded itself piece by piece until it was home again. The drum spoke, but this time its voice was softly boom, 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 boom. O king, you have listened. O king, you have changed. Now your kingdom will know peace. Says Rodan. The king face. He bowed before the drum, not as a man afraid, but as a man humbled. From then on, whenever the king faced a hard decision, he would sit before the talking drum and wait. The drum no longer cursed him, instead, it whispered wisdom. Protect the widow, feed the orphan, do not take more than you need. Under his rule, the kingdom grew strongly than ever before. Other kings came to visit and asked him, what is the secret of your wisdom? The king would smile and point to the drum, saying, a leader who listens to a truth will never lose his people. And so the legend spread far and wide. The story of a king who once fights the drum of truth, but later bowed to it and became the greatest ruler his land had ever known. Seasons passed and peace returned to the land. Farmers once again bought yams, cassava, and maize to the markets. Children laughed in the village square, chasing one another with dusty foot. The people sang songs of praise for their king, calling him the king who listened. But not everyone was happy. Among the king's chief was one man named Odo. He was greedy and jealous. Before the king changed his way, Odo had grown rich by helping him take care from the poor. Now, that justice ruled. Odo's power and weight began to fade. One night, Odo crept into the palace. He stood before the king and the talking drum, his eyes shining with evil. So, this is the king, and this is the thing that controls the king. He whispered, if I can make it mine, I will rule in his palace. He lifted the drum and tried to carry it away, but the drum grew heavily, so heavily that his knees. Suddenly, the drum began to beat on its own. Bam, 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 bam. Odo, beware, Odo, beware. Terrified, Odo dropped the drum and ran. His footsteps through the empty house, but the sound of a drum followed him like a shadow. The next morning, the king found the drum where Odo had left it. He called all the chiefs together. Last night, someone tried to steal the drum. Who among you dare to disrespect the spirit of truth? The chiefs bowed their heads. None spoke, but Odo's face was as ashes. The drum began to speak before them all. Boom, 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 boom. The hand that reached from me was the hand of Odo. Greed, blind, him still. The people gasped. Odo fell to his knees. Mercy, my king, I was blinded by evil. I thought if I took the drum, I could rule as you do. The king's eyes were sad, not angry. He said, Odo, you were my brother in council, yet your greed almost brought shame to us all. You will not be killed, but you must leave this palace. Go live among the farmers you once despair and learn humanity. As so Odo was sent away, he lived many years as a poor man, and only when his heart changed did the king allow him to return. From that time, the people said the drum was not only the voice of truth, but also the guidance of the kingdom. Whenever greed tried to rise, the drum would speak. Whenever pride tried to enter, the drum would remind them. And long after the king's death, the drum remained in the palace, warning every ruler we came after him. Please like my story, subscribe, and comment.